You're welcome back to newspaper headlines on Ebona. This morning, we are going to take you through the news making the headlines on the Guardian newspaper, the Punch newspaper, Nation newspaper. We are also going to take a look at the leadership newspaper, Vanguard, Daily Post, Sun, This Day, and if time permits, we're also going to take a look at the Nigerian Tribune. Remember that you can become part of the conversation by sending your reactions via SMS or WhatsApp messages on 08096661035. We apologize for Facebook as network is not allowing us to get to Facebook this morning. You can as well stream us online via mixlr.com/gistfm. I am Martin. Let's get started with the Guardian newspaper this morning. Campaigners call for tax on wealthy as Nigeria attends G20 meeting. Labour throws Abuja, Kaduna, Jos into darkness as electricity grid wobbles to 2,000 megawatts. Strike flops in Lagos as workers, banks shun NLC. ECAS suspends Gabon over coup as Zambian president warns pushists. Now, why Nigeria airport concession remains suspended by Kiyamo. Presidency brags on Tinubu's one projects, says Aniabu. Fayemi, Biobaku, Oyetibo, others tax Tinubu on good governance. NMPP's National Working Committee condemns move to expel Kwankwaso. Penga over purchase of Ajib assets by Rwanda. Chaibu withdraws impeachment suit against Obaseki, 6 peace. Warning strike. NLC seals state secretariat, hospital, court, others in Edo, Rivers, Akwa Ibom. 2012 protests against fuel subsidy removal political, says Fayemi. 2012 protests against fuel subsidy removal political, says Fayemi. Subsidy returns as federal government leverages NMPC to manage market shocks. Police on red alert on Nigerians. Police on red alert as Nigerians await tribunal's ruling on presidential election. Tinubu appoints 8 mandate secretaries for FCTA. Lagdo Dam, House Committee, Lord's preparedness level. Strike group says NLC conniving with opposition to inflict pains on citizens. Strike group says NLC, okay, we've taken this. Security, we've taken this also. Court sends 19-year-old, 3 others to jail for internet fraud in Benin City. Reps panel parley with Nnamdi Kanu to keep the peace in Southeast geopolitical zone. Tertiary Education Trust Fund partners with Ugumba Leadership Center on job creation for youth. KB, Governor Idris orders immediate payment of leave grants to workers. Abia Assembly approves 22.2 billion naira Otis variant request. You will get a premium security welfare. Zamfara governor tells NYSC members. Ondo PDP stalwart Akumumi warns against returning APC to power in 2024. Ahead of tribunal judgment, PDP leaders resort to fasting, prayers. Bello approves 100% increment in NYSC allowance in Kogi State. Reps Committee investigating ecological funds shut out journalist. Alex Okosi becomes Google Managing Director for Africa. Experts charge youth to be resilient on career path. Federal government, TUC, agree on 2 weeks to resolve labor issues. Defunct Eastern region states must align with Michael Okpala's vision, legacies for enhanced development. Defunct Eastern region states must align with Michael Okpala's vision, legacies for enhanced development. Federal government sets up 7-member committee to drive education roadmap. 2012 Occupy Nigeria protests against fuel subsidy removal was mere politics. Fayemi, Ugochinyere hails Umahi, urges minister to include failed Southeast highways in 2024 budget. NMPP expels Kwankwaso. Why I picked Yaradua as my successor despite his health issues. Obasanjo. Buhari spent recklessly, lacked understanding of economics, says Obasanjo. I tried to get refineries working. Tinubu's plan won't work, says Obasanjo. Federal government expands a social register, covers widows, ex-military men in crisis. Arewa youth storm NMPCL headquarters. Demand cancellation of Tompolo's pipeline surveillance contract. Sanwo-Olu flags off commercial operations of Lagos Blue Line Rail. Deploy discretion in public. Private dealings. Chetima charges political aids. Tinubu not to blame. Buhari plunge economy into crisis, says Sanusi. Zulum plants 2.1 million trees to fight desertification in Bruno. Apprehension as Labour begins warning strike. Court rules on presidential election. And that's the Guardian newspaper this morning. From the Guardian newspaper, we'll flip over to the Leadership newspaper. Abia government to invest 2 billion naira federal government palliative loan on transportation. Abia government to invest 2 billion naira federal government palliative loan on transportation. Tinubu has shown purposeful leadership in 100 days. Federal government. Why I set up 2014 national conference. Jonathan. Labour strike suffers partial compliance over cracks in union. Labour strike suffers partial compliance over cracks in union. Wike moves to collect 34 billion naira old FCTA constitutes cabinet. Chetima. Nasarawa government clears air on monarch's trip to Abuja. Court lifts no debt order. Court lifts no debit order on Lagos Speaker's account. There is vacancy in Lugard House. PDP replies Kogi APC. Account for 13% oil derivation fund. Accord candidate tells Kogi APC. 2024, PDP must pick a candidate from Ondo South. Akinwumi. I would have expelled Wike from PDP if Momodu. Abuja's second runway ready in 12 months. Gas flaring. Reps more legislation for uniform metering. Federal government leads 54 African countries to resolve internet governance issues. CBN plans to settle $2.5 billion forest backlog, boost liquidity, 30% freight charges. Oyetola bemoans lack of national shipping line. Digital technology key to achieving growth. First Bank. NITDA. Nigerian Embassy hosts arts culture festival in Belgium. Customs impounds 11 trucks of smuggled rice. Petrol worth 813 million naira. Concerns over renewed attacks on customs operatives. FBN Holdings appeal stores proceedings in shareholders' suit. HDAN to sue CBN for NHF Act violation. Saka misses England's team training. Team Nigeria's lifters depart for World Championship in Riyadh. Google appoints Okosi as MD for Africa. Tinubu urged to include youngest presidential candidates in governance as NCC intensifies efforts to improve network readiness index. As NCC intensifies efforts to improve network readiness index. Makinde falls composition of Nigeria's 774 local governments. Oyo threatens to pull down shops on school fences. Lagos, UNICEF to curb newborn deaths. DSS arrests suspects over diversion of state palliatives. INEC resumes PVC collection for Imo, Kogi, Bayelsa governorship polls. Labour strike suffers partial compliance over cracks in union. NYG 2023 forerunner to celebrate Nigeria's 63rd independence. NMPP expels Kwankwaso ex-chairman Akali, dumps party. Otedola laws Sanwo-Olu over completion of Lagos Blue Rail. National Breakdance Championship fame holds Abuja qualifiers September 9th. 2023 polls. 5 judges decide Tinubu, Atiku, Obi's fate today. And that's the much we can take from the leadership newspaper this morning. Now, from the leadership newspaper, we'll flip over to Punch newspaper. I'm committed to petition against Abiodun Ogun local government boss. Lagos Assembly probes missing intestine boys case. Chetima warns aides against unethical practices. Fee hike students kicks as DSS threatens clampdown on protests. IG sets up to release cadets' debt. Oshun disowns a federal government appointee, directs probe. Judiciary shouldn't determine election winners, but they judge. 40 years after Buhari's suspension, Lagos Light Rail begins operation. Tribunal oppose Oshomule. Ihonvere's election. Kogi 2023 police pledge impartiality. Dismiss assault allegation. Niger workers reject governor's palliative plans. Budgetary allocation affecting road construction, says Omai. Cost of drugs rises by 300%. Manufacturers. Obaseki swears in local government chairman. APC kicks. Oni, Ugandan president discuss business relations. Issues fresh flood alert. Groups slam sexual harassment of female students by lecturers. Sanwo-Olu cabinet, Omotosho, 17 others face fresh screening. How Nigeria can prevent food scarcity, insecurity, commissioner. And that's the much we can take from the Punch newspaper this morning. From the Punch newspaper, we'll flip over to Vanguard newspaper. Kidnapped Akwa Ibom NYSC members. Fear grips parents as abductors. Ransom deadline expires today. Kidnapped Akwa Ibom NYSC members. Fear grips parents as abductors. Ransom deadline expires today. Our founding fathers won independence, failed to build a nation. Jonathan. One killed as task force. Truck drivers clash in Mile 2. Insecurity, despite improvement, reign of terror continues. Kogi East, Tribunal sacks APC senator, orders supplementary election. Rivers chiefs on the run as cultists list them for killing. Presidential poll, 4 men, woman, who will decide Tinubu, Atiku, Obi's fate today. 100 days, Tinubu's politics as it was in Lagos. Biden to wear masks after First Lady tests COVID positive. Tribunal judgment, we must occupy Abuja today. Charlie Boy tells obedient. Minister expresses need for immediate rehabilitation of Lagos ports. Marine, Blue Economy Ministry. Expert warns against clash of interest. Terminal operators support Oyetola's efforts to harness blue economy, heightening despondency. Society to rescue itself. Nigeria, restructure or reconfigure. Fidelity records PBT of 76.3 billion naira for half year since the 1963 Midwest referendum by Hakim Baba Ahmed. With Dar Communications in Port Harcourt, history suffers jeopardy by Oko Ahi. CBN worried over local fish production despite anchor borrower scheme. 100 days of mixed portions. Net forest inflow rises 24% to $7.2 billion. And that's the much we can take from the Vanguard newspaper this morning. From the Vanguard newspaper, we'll flip over to that's the much we can take from the Daily Post newspaper this morning. From the Daily Post newspaper, we'll flip over to the Nation newspaper. Daily Independent, champion, two of a kind, 29 years of private broadcasting. Rex redeployed. 55 nations for Africa Internet Forum. United Nations scheme to boost women entrepreneurship. Firms directors can't hold board meetings. We fail to integrate into a nation, says Jonathan. Justice Odele, count me out of your political bias. Federal government, NLC to resume talks after strike. Warning strike in partial success. Still on the stories making the headlines on the Nation newspaper this morning. Otedola extols Sanwo-Olu on Lagos Blue-ray takeoff. We will continue to protest outrageous fees. Edo City suspends academic activities. Lagos commissioners Omotosho, Abayomi scale through screening. 100 days, Tinubu will reset Nigeria. APC assures citizens. 100 days, Tinubu will reset Nigeria. APC assures citizens. Abuja second runway to be ready in 12 months, says Kiyamo. Judgment today in Atiku. Tinubu Obi election dispute. Federal government targeting 2 weeks. Federal government targeting 2 weeks for passport issuance, says Tunji Ojo. Wike goes after 34 billion naira owed FCTA. Assembly okays Makinde request to assess 50 billion naira revolving overdraft. And that's the much we can take from the Nation newspaper this morning. Still on the stories making the headlines on Nigerian newspaper this morning, we'll now flip over to the Sun newspaper. Catholic Archdiocese of Lagos unveils activities to mark Archbishop Martin's 25th Episcopal and 40th priestly ordination anniversaries. Federal government's economic revival plan already yielding results, Chetima. Anxiety Security alert in Abuja as tribunal decides Tinubu Atiku Obi's fate. Tinubu arrives India, holds first investment meeting with Hinduja Group's chairman. Wike threatens to revoke lands over 34 billion naira ground rent. CBN to clear FX backlog in 2 weeks, urges BDCs to adopt technology in service execution. Federal government's economic revival plan already yielding results. Shetima. Still on the stories making the headlines on the Sun newspaper this morning. Wike threatens to revoke lands over 30 billion naira ground rent. Still on the stories making the headlines on the Sun newspaper this morning. Pandemonium as policeman kills tanker driver in Lagos. 2 die, 8 injured in Lagos Ibadan expressway accident. Customs arrest 12 suspects, intercept 13,525 liters of petrol, 345 kilograms of Indian hemp. DSS nabbed suspected palliative thieves in Nassau. Federal Road Safety Corps hold town hall transport operators in Lagos. Presidential Election Tribunal, Ndi Igbo, Lagos urges security agencies to protect Igbo property. Alias 100-day in office empty, a disappointment. PDP, count me out of your political bias or the little social media bullies. National Broadcasting Commission commiserates with dark communications over the demolition of facilities. Tinubu arrives India, holds first investment meeting with Hindu Jazz Group's chairman. Job creation, federal government to review housing policies. Wike threatens to revoke lands over 34 billion naira ground rent. Deputy governor tolls a peace path, instructs lawyers to withdraw suit. NLC strike, banks, pieces shot in Delta, and MPP expels Kwankwaso. And that's the much we can take from the Sun newspaper this morning. From the Sun newspaper, we'll flip over to this day newspaper. Otedola commends Sanwo-Olu on successful completion of Lagos Blue Rail. He thanks Nigerians for supporting Tinubu. Government declares petrol subsidy removal irrevocable. Rallies banking sector. Blue economy. I'm in a hurry to make impact. Oyetola declares. Tinubu 100. Strong start. Stronger challenges. Federal government declares petrol subsidy removal irrevocable. We've taken this. Tinubu arrives India, meets with Hinduja chairman. AGF calls for transparency in management of cooperative societies' funds. Abiru charges software developers to harness opportunities in tech innovation. Oil inches higher on OPEC supply cut expectations. Hits 88.58 per barrel. Oil inches higher on OPEC supply cut expectations. Hits $88.58 per barrel. Health Insurance Group posts 20 billion naira in revenue for FY 2022. Uganda, capital market must government actualize economic reforms. Banking index up 54.80% YTD on FX unification corporate earnings. Banking index up 54.80% YTD on FX unification corporate earnings. You are still tuned to Upon at 103.5 FM, and this is Newspaper Headlines. We will now go for a short break. When we come back, we'll continue on the stories making the headlines. Please stay with us.
Gọọmelo otu kansụl ọdịnala ndị ichie na Ogbuefe Ogbunike na njikọta aka na otu Ogbunike Progress Union na-akpọ ụmụ nwoke na ụmụ nwaanyị Ogbunike niile ọnụ n'ụlọ na ọnụ n'ụzọ ije ọha na eze nne na ndị ike na-echere echiche na mmemme iri ji ọhụrụ nke afọ 2023 ọ ga-adị wee mee n'ụbọchị Fraịde aga nkwọ abalị 8 nke ọnwa Septemba afọ 2023. Anyị ji ohere a wee na-agọlụ obodo Ogbunike ọfa agamnihu na mmemme iri ji ọhụrụ ka aja na anyị na-amịtara anyị nri ugbu a na oge niile na-agazie. Ndị nyere aka n'ọkwa bụ Chief Nwafọ Onyezie Ikpe mara eziokwu President onye isi otu kansụl ọdịnala ndị ichie na Ogbuefe Ogbunike Chief Obiakọ President General Ogbunike Progress Union na Chief Pharmacist Kene Ikeche PRO Ogbunike Progress Union 1 bịa n'otu bịa n'igwe ọnụ kọrọ ibe ya.
Listen to this caveat emptor. Consequent upon the recent sharing, partitioning of parts of Agui-Ivite Umueri land by the owners, that is to say, Mwede, Obu, and Umuatolo village of Ivite Umueri, Anambra East local government area of Anambra State. The general public is hereby informed that the piece or parcel of land stretching from Ototo to Ugwoda inclusive is now the bona fide property of Umuatolo village, Ivite Umueri. Any person dealing in whatever manner or howsoever with the aforementioned land without the knowledge and consent of Ojiano Umuatolo village, Chief AMA Mbogo, Clerk Ajebu Elder Council, Chima Felix Nwakonuche, Chairman Umuatolo Umueri Improvement Union, High Chief Dr. SAG Umadi, Chief Legal Advisor Umuatolo Community.
How best can we talk about the challenges we are having on our streets, community, our society in general? Street report. If we do not address these challenges on Ebonade FM, who will? As the happenings around us get as complicated as they can be.
Hello, government.
Street report is here to make sense of it all. Street report is causing social change across your streets. In your community. Street report is here with hardcore
24/7.
That disclaimer. That's what
You're welcome back to Newspaper Headlines on Ebon at the 103.5 FM. Remember that you can become part of the conversation by sending your reactions via SMS or WhatsApp messages on 08096661035. You can as well join us on Facebook. Drop your comments on the comment section of the live video. You can equally stream us online via mixlr.com/gistfm. We are on to this day newspaper. Yuguda. Capital market malls. Government actualize economic reforms. As Obaseki goes for Shaibu's Jagula in Edo. Mixed reaction in Anambra as Soludo rolls out subsidy palliatives. now that Gabon has joined the pack. Iwanyanwu at 81, good wine, tasting better with age. Forge legacies beyond infrastructure. For Lady Nimi Owabunwa, dissing one city at a time. And that's the much we can take from this day newspaper this morning. With that, with the package we have for you on this particular edition